Title matches have been announced for AEW Dynasty, plus Drew McIntyre's WWE contract latest, and WWE are introducing a new championship before WrestleMania 40. It's all in the Cultaholic wrestling news right now. AEW Dynasty shaping up rather nicely. We have a world title match, Andrew.
We certainly do. So after Swerve Strickland defeated Takeshita last night on Dynamite, it was revealed that he indeed will be the number one contender for the AEW World Championship against Samoa Joe. Samoa Joe. Well, I mean, he has a robotic arm in 2K20 or whatever it is. So there
he
you
does,
go.
doesn't he?
Yeah. He's going up against
times.
Swerve Strickland versus Samoa Joe for the AEW World Championship at AEW Dynasty. Lovely stuff.
Now, they're doing the contract signing for it next week. Joe looks very angry about having to face Swerve.
He does, because he knows he's going to lose.
And I was going to say this. Is this where Swerve gets the keys to his house?
I feel like it very well could be, yeah.
Ooh.
I'm looking forward to that, because then from there, I guess you could build to Swerve Strickland versus Will Ospreay, maybe. All in.
We've
in
talked about that.
We have talked about this
That's
before,
nice,
haven't we?
isn't it?
It is.
And I like the fact that we come back around to it.
Oh, yes. Oh, yes.
Swerve and Ospreay in the main event at Wembley.
Huge. And the crowd will very much be divided there as well, for sure.
I'm into that.
Yeah, me too.
Big into that. Also last night on Dynamite, Willow Nightingale won a four-way match over Anna Jay, Sky Blue, Chris Statlander, and as a result of doing that, she is the top contender for Julia Hart's TBS title. And that match will go down at AEW Dynasty as well. The talking point at the end of that, though, was Willow got a side swipe by Julia Hart, and then we had a stare down with Julia Hart and Monet.
Yeah. So I don't know whether Julia Hart retains the title maybe at AEW Dynasty. Part of me was thinking that unless maybe Mercedes helps Willow Nightingale win the championship.
The way they've set it up is like Mercedes Monet has said, look, I want a little piece of Willow Nightingale.
Yeah.
We got some unfinished business. So maybe Willow wins it, and then we get Mercedes Monet versus Willow.
That's what I'm thinking. Yeah, that's what I'm thinking. And as I said, maybe if Mercedes helps Willow win, not that she needs to, but maybe if she does, just to ensure that she gets that championship. So then we can get back around to them too, having sort of like closing the chapter on things that happened prior.
Also confirmed for Dynasty, the tournament final to crown the new World Tag Team Champs, and we're getting Will Ospreay and Bryan Danielson.
It's a good card already, isn't it?
It's a nice set, isn't it?
It is. It really is a nice set.
I'm looking forward to it. Dynasty is going to be a fun show. Just Ospreay and Danielson alone.
Yeah.
I feel like, you feel like if all goes well, that's a match that could really transcend.
Oh, for sure. But we were talking about this before, and when that was the only match that was announced, we're like, oh man, this is really good.
Just have that for 3 hours.
Yeah, but now we're getting Swerve and Joe as well, and the TBS Championship match as well. My goodness gracious me.
A bit of moving and shaking for AEW next week as it pertains to a few schedule changes for Rampage and such.
Yeah, so the TNT website lists next week's AEW Rampage with a start time of 7 p.m. Eastern Standard Time on Friday, April 5th. So it will be airing opposite Ring of Honor Supercard of Honor on the same night too. Now, SmackDown will start at 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time on Fox, and then that's going to be followed by the 2024 Hall of Fame on Peacock too.
There's been a lot of moving and shaking with Rampage. It was live last Wednesday.
Yes.
And it's moved around the schedule a little bit. So it's interesting that AEW is going up against Ring of Honor.
I think they did this last year as well.
Yeah.
So obviously I'm guessing they've pre-taped Rampage, so then we can focus on Supercard of Honor. A bit of a weird one though, isn't it? To go up against almost yourself.
I feel like you can have some fun with it.
Yeah, definitely.
If you want to do a bit of comedy fun, you have somebody go under the ring on Rampage, and then they appear under the ring on Supercard of Honor, like a few moments later.
Like an entryway into another dimension.
Yeah. I don't know why Tony Khan hasn't returned any of my emails for me to be head booker.
Remains to be seen.
Yeah.
Missing out on good things there.
Livid, frankly. Drew McIntyre, we could be missing out on him if something isn't sorted soon. What's the latest on his WWE contract, Andrew?
So PW Insider shared an update about all of this, and they said, "We are hearing that Drew McIntyre has told those close to him he still has yet to lock in a new WWE deal. The belief is that everyone is working under the understanding a new deal will indeed be struck, but the word out of his camp is that nothing has been signed, and that whatever his next move will be, focusing on family will be a major piece of what his next decision will be." The belief is, though, that his current deal would expire sometime after WrestleMania season ends.
Now, he has spoken in interviews and said that he feels a lot of guilt for missing out on a lot of key family moments because of how much he's thrown himself into his wrestling work. And it's nice that he finds himself in a position where he is absolutely a star. He's doing some of the best work he's ever done. And I like to think that he's going to get the best deal for him in terms of money, in terms of creative, and in terms of time. I wouldn't be shocked if we see less of Drew McIntyre after WrestleMania.
Me too. Which I guess then, if he does pick up the belt, that kind of, all this sort of work towards Seth Rollins and the World Heavyweight Championship being the the workhorse title, as he's calling it. Imagine if he gets that belt and then does a Roman Reigns.
Takes it away.
Yeah, I mean, like that, and that's kind
would
of
be funny,
I
actually.
guess, sort of in line with the hypocrisy of Drew McIntyre at the same time at the moment too. So that could work out, but he more than deserves to spend time with his family, because even prior to all this as well, I think in like an Insane Championship Wrestling documentary years and years ago, he was saying the same thing too. Like, he's missed out so much of these huge moments with family and friends and stuff because he's pursuing this career and he wants to get to the top, that he more than deserves it. He's put the work in
really
anyway
has.
to absolutely go and do what he so pleases. So yeah, you do what's best for you, Drew, but I bloody like your work so far.
He has had some of the best promos of his career.
Agreed.
In the last few months. And Aidan Gibbons, the Cultaholic.com tribal editor-in-chief, who sits opposite me upstairs, was saying, like, many people didn't think there was anybody that could sort of outshoot with CM Punk.
Yeah.
And Drew is absolutely in the mix with that.
Definitely.
Absolutely.
They've paired those three up so well,
Yeah.
Drew, Seth, and Punk, to just kind of like obviously have certain bullet points, but just riff off each other, and it works tremendously well.
We'll end on some news regarding a new WWE title. So we've spoke a little bit over the last few months about a new WWE show that's on the horizon called WWE Speed. It has been piloted before SmackDown. You might, if you've been to SmackDown tapings, you will have seen shorter matches of 5 minutes in length with special designs around the ring, like livery. I think livery's cars, isn't it? Livery's cars. Liver is something else. Is food, dinner. Now, shouldn't say that next year. Really.
That's all right.
But it's so we've seen. You may have seen that if you've been to shows, but we weren't sure sort of when this was happening and what the crack was with it. So it is going to be a brand new TV show, WWE Speed. That's not even on TV. It's going to air on Twitter or X from next week. WWE Speed will feature, as shown in a video that WWE uploaded last night, it'll feature WWE stars in 3-minute matches. 3-minute time limit, as opposed to the 5 that they were piloting.
Yep.
It's 3 minutes now. You got to get the win in 3 minutes. And on Wednesday, a tournament begins to crown the first ever WWE Speed Champion. So we're getting a new title into the mix in WWE, and one that'll be defended exclusively on Twitter.
Yeah. I mean, obviously, this is just an attempt to try and grab more people's attention, isn't it? Who aren't familiar with the wrestling, or maybe testing the waters to see if they enjoy it. And to put on the 3-minute match stuff, I guess, attention spans these days don't last very long, so a 3-minute match kind of makes a lot of sense. And if it's complete, I see what you did, Tom. If it's completely, if it's all about, as they were saying, like their marketing is like, it's fast, adrenaline fueled, it's this, that, and the other. And if they keep those fast paces, which I guess they'll have to do within 3-minute matches, that's bound to catch the attention of people who maybe aren't necessarily wrestling fans in the first place.
Exactly. That's the plan they're hoping for. Anyway, the first bunch of matches have been taped as part of SmackDown, and we reported this earlier in the week. It was Pete Dunne that was producing those backstage.
Yeah.
So I feel like Pete Dunne's probably, long term, I could see Pete working as a producer with WWE.
He's done a lot within the industry, hasn't he?
He really has.
He's got a great mind, it seems fair. for wrestling just as a whole. What a
I
guy.
feel like this is a little bit of a testing of the waters. Put these
Yeah.
3-minute matches together.
Oh, is he going to be like the new William Regal? Imagine.
You have to have real quick promos. You couldn't have a Rock promo during an episode of WWE Speed.
True.
You better get 3 look at hims in there. You really wouldn't. We'll have more wrestling news for you throughout the day at cultaholic.com. Keys.
I love you. Bye.